All right, welcome to our final video for 4.3, where we will be doing our statement of cash flows. So our statement of cash flows for Foley's Interiors, again, is going to be for the year ended. Let's take a look at our instructions because there is some information on there that we're going to need to know in order to complete this problem. So it says for step 4, we're going to use the following information to complete the statement of cash flows. Foley's began the fiscal year with a cash balance of $2,375.14. Okay, so we also have information on the cash that was received from and our cash payments that were made for the following information. So, what we need to remember, and if you have to, it wouldn't be a terrible thing for you to get your books out and maybe do a little look-see back into what our statement of cash flow is. It's actually going to be in our Accounting 1 book. So you might need to do that if you don't remember what the investing activities were, our operating activities were, and then also our financing activities. So we just want to make sure we have all of those correct. So we're going to need to reference our instructions here a little bit more. So I'm just going to, maybe I'll pull that off to the side here. Will that be helpful? See if this works. I'll bring this down a little bit. Okay, a little bit better. Okay, so first things first, over in our statement of cash flows, our cash receipts, hang on, I've got a, okay. So our cash receipts from customers, as we can see here, our cash receipt from customers, sales to customers was $697,018.61. That is a positive number, so we just have to type in $697,18.61. Then we have to talk about what payments were made for our operating activities. Operating activities, remember, are things that we have to pay in order to make our business run. So one of the first things that we would say that we needed to do for operating was to have inventory purchases. So our inventory is going to go over here. And this is a negative outgoing number, so we need to put a minus sign in front of it. And so we type in $309,481.36. And then what Applia will do is it will change it into a parenthesis for us. So our next one that we make cash payments for is our salaries and wages. So we type salaries and wages over here. Again, a negative number because it's outgoing, it's a cash payment. So $231,648.69. Next up is our rent. We have to do that in order to operate. Rent was $18,000. Next up, we have to pay insurance. Again, negative $16,000 outgoing for insurance. And then our next one is our income taxes. Again, oops, negative $14,048.17. And then our last one is the other operating expenses, which just kind of is any of those smaller miscellaneous amounts that we would spend to keep the doors open. So what we need to do is total up all of our cash payments. So we're just going to take each one of those, total those up, and we end up with, again, a negative outgoing number of $626,282.96. So what we need to look at here is, did we have our net cash for our operating activities and whether or not that was positive or negative. So we have our cash receipts, and then we also have our cash payments. So we take the difference between those two. It is going to be a positive number, and it's $70,735.65. And then we'll come down. Our second section is our cash flows from our investing activities. So when we're talking about cash flows from investing activities, what we're looking at first is the money that we received. So investing activities is thinking anything long term. So when we talk about the sale of equipment, equipment, remember, is technically a plant asset, so we're hanging on to that for a while, so that would be considered an investing activity. By selling that, so we're going to put here sale of equipment, and that's a positive number. We receive that amount, $3,180. And then our investing activities is where we had cash payments. Let's see over here. Here's a purchase of equipment. So this one here would be an example of an investing activity. So we have purchase of equipment, and that's a negative outgoing number of $24,830. So in this situation, the difference between these two are going to be a negative number. So we'll have to put a minus sign in front. And the difference between those two is $21,650. Our third and final section is our financing activities. Financing activities, remember, are any time that we are receiving money in the form of capital stock or paying dividends to our stockholders. So our activity where we would be receiving cash, that's usually always what we put first, would be, of course, the issuance of stock. And we issued $1,000 in stock. So we put issuance of stock and 1,000. And then our outgoing cash would obviously be the payment of cash dividends. And that dividend amount was 16,000. So again, we put negative 16,000. And so our net cash provided or used for financing activities is the difference between these two. Again, it will be a negative number. So we put negative 15,000 is the difference. And so now what we need to start looking at is what is our net change in cash. So what we do is we take a positive 70,000, a negative 21, and a negative 15, and we do end up with a positive number. It ends up being $34,085.65. And then this is where we need that beginning cash balance as of January 1st. So we look over here and we look at our fiscal year cash balance. It's $2,375.14. So we take that $2,375.14, and then we add those two together and get our ending cash balance of $36,460.79. So, kind of nice to do. The other thing that I just want to show you is when you're done with this, I'm going to make this bigger again. When you've completed your statement of cash flows, this $36,460, it should be the same number as your adjusted trial balance here for your amount of cash. If it's not, that means that you maybe put some things in the wrong places, or that you could have had an error. So that's another quick way to just check to see if you are on the right track. So it is, like I said, a longer lesson. You're doing all 4 of your financial statements. For that reason, if you choose to do the on your own, I will give you extra credit for that. I'm not going to make that required. So you can go ahead and head over if you want to do that. Otherwise, your application problem is what's next.